and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes,
Facts, boots.
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Humphrey Dumpler, a.k.a. Humpty Dumpty.
Welcome into episode 2 of Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I am your host, Zach, and joined by the Speedy to my Green Arrow, or I guess Red Arrow, whichever one you want to be, Mike.
So there was a Speedy for both arrows?
Yeah, I mean, they did Speedy and they did Red Arrow.
Oh, I don't know.
He was both. There were two
Again,
different.
Speedy sounds like the FTD guy, but whatever.
Welcome into episode 2. I have a brief follow-up to our Zack Snyder conversation from last week.
Yeah, what you got?
So we were in here, and I'm already convinced, and I think it's pretty obvious most people see that given the world of technology we live in, sometimes things will pop up after you've talked about them, or, you know, maybe you're looking for something, all of a sudden ads pop up. Like, you know.
Testacuzzi.
Yeah, exactly. Did you get ads for
I
Testacuzzi?
get nothing but ads for Testacuzzi.
Okay,
yeah.
well, see, then that's probably, it's your phone listening. Well,
I don't even get texts from my wife anymore. I just get
Just
texts from
get
Testacuzzi.
ads.
Yeah.
well, so we had our Zack Snyder discussion.
Right.
And every day since then,
Yeah.
I have gotten an ad on social media for the YouTube series about Zack Snyder, basically how to make a film.
Oh, wait, really?
It's like film
It's a
school.
Oh, is it like a Zack Snyder masterclass?
Yes, in a way.
But it's free?
Yeah, it's like, I guess YouTube's doing it, and they're like,
I
you
wanna
know,
watch that.
going like, it's like 4 episodes long, and it's like behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and I was like, there is no way I would have gotten this.
Made by Zack Snyder.
Yes. So now
Zack Snyder started as a small boy.
I'm being bombarded with make movies like Zack Snyder, and I blame our conversation last week.
Well, you're welcome.
Last week, we got to touch on the ridiculous that was Black Condor.
Yeah.
And it was great. And believe me, we have a lot more like that coming up. Dog Welder is somebody
Dog
who
Welder.
fits under that I think Mike
Yeah,
will
you
like.
keep teasing Dog Welder.
I do, just because it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's another ridiculous one today. Little change of pace. We still have ridiculousness,
Right, sure.
but I think
So good guy or bad guy today?
bad guy.
Okay.
We
I
got to
like
switch
this.
it up.
I
We
like the bad guys.
Here's
Yeah.
it's a very, you know, everybody likes the whole anti-hero thing. He's not an anti-hero.
Well, very much in the
but-
Batman universe, or who was the guy with the Dick Tracy universe?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the villains were the most interesting people.
Yes.
Not really the heroes.
Yes, no, I've always had the saying DC has the best villains, especially
Oh, yeah,
Batman, and that's
sure.
what makes Batman so enjoyable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it is a Batman villain. His
Oh,
name
nice.
is Humphrey Dumpler.
Sure.
We will get into his very easy supervillain name, Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty.
All that.
So Humpty Dumpty was on, I don't know if he was called Humphrey Dumpler. God, that's a terrible name. But I don't know if he was called that on the Batman TV show. Wasn't he on there like one episode?
Are we talking about like?
the 60s one.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think there was a Humpty Dumpty on there at one point.
There might have been. I love that old TV show. The
yeah.
fact that Cesar Romero never shaved his mustache.
Oh, sure.
And then
just
Frank
covered it
Boris,
up.
just all of them.
Yeah.
Burgess Meredith is.
Yeah.
I love.
It's good stuff.
I still have a crush on Julie Newmar's Catwoman
Oh
too.
yeah, she's the gold standard.
Ooh, her and Barbara Eden from My Dream of Jeannie as a kid.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, that'll do it.
But we'll get away from my
Gotta go take a
childhood
shower
crushes.
again, Mom. Yeah. Sure.
I can't watch Nick at Night tonight. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I
can't
don't
take
feel
it.
right sitting here watching this with you, Grandma.
So, Humphrey Dumpler. His first appearance was in 2003's Arkham Asylum Living Hell arc.
Really?
Yes. A
Okay.
newish character.
2003. Wow.
2003.
Okay. Maybe I was wrong then.
Issue 3. And he's created by Dan Slott and Ryan Sook. And
What else did those maniacs do?
they did all, like, there's a lot of stuff that comes out of this Arkham Asylum kind of arc.
Mm-hmm.
It's where they discover more of, if you're into like huge Batman lore, like Jeremiah Arkham and the guy who created Arkham Asylum and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of that art.
I would definitely read that.
There's a couple ones like this.
I'd flip through it at least.
Yeah, no, I mean the art, even though it's 2003, I like the way it looks. And there's some of the Arkham series that they did that's really cool. The video games are great. Which, I don't know if you're
the Arkham games.
Yeah.
I never played them. By that time, I was only playing like sports games because they take like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I would, I don't know, run off somewhere.
Oh, that's fine. Like physically run off?
I'm done. Bye.
Just drop the controller and run out of the living room.
Doors just going.
So Humphrey is a very sweet and innocent child.
Okay.
Who has nothing but terrible luck.
All right.
And this brings us to the saddest page of comics I ever read.
Is he an orphan?
No.
No, he's not an orphan.
No.
So he
has a loving family.
There's a Mr. and Mrs. Dumpler.
Mr. and Mrs. Dumpler who thought it was cool to name their son Humphrey.
Yeah.
But as a child, the family home is accidentally demolished. It shows in one panel. These are all just one panel per event.
Yeah.
There's a crane with the wrecking ball, and it's supposed to take out the foreclosed evicted house next to theirs, and it knocks out their house instead.
Oh, nice.
His pet dog is run over by the ice cream truck.
Oh.
It shows him, if you scroll down to the bottom, Mike, I included the page just so you can see the greatness of it.
So clearly on this house that was supposed to be knocked down,
they
there's
knew
a
which
giant
one was condemned
sign. There's do not cross tape all around it.
But do you see the...
And then they knocked the other one down. Hey, but the toilet's still there.
Yeah, but do you see the workers just like, sorry, wrong house.
Sorry, wrong house. Oh, man, come on.
So then there's the ice cream truck runs over his pet dog. You see poor little... Yeah, oops, nobody cares. The worst one being a Christmas tree falls on his parents and kills both of them on Christmas Day.
Look at him in his little sleepy outfit.
Yes, on Christmas Day.
He's got the nightcap and everything. Oh, poor little Humphrey.
Humphrey, Merry Xmas. Mom and Dad is what the presents say as he looks at a Christmas tree with both of his parents underneath it.
And then Child Services makes him move in with his grandma who lives in a shoe.
Yes, because, what is it to have a Humpty Dumpty?
It's a giant shoe.
A Humpty Dumpty reference and not have other characters in there. Yeah, so he lives with his grandmother who lives in a shoe who is extremely abusive.
God, look at her face.
She is a hideous looking woman.
It's like a human prune.
And she has a giant knotted stick that's like 2 times what she is.
She is a giant knotted stick.
She just beats the mess out of him with it.
Wow, poor little Humphrey.
But Humphrey learns how to cobble shoes there.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I mean, if you're going to learn how to cobble, it should be in a shoe.
So you're thinking, all right, these are all the bases for why Humphrey would just hate life.
Right, sure.
But he's not. He still has like a childlike mindset about
him.
He's
I'm thinking this guy's not real smart.
No,
right?
but he's not. Yeah. He's not the brightest.
He's shaped like an egg.
Yes, very much so. But he's a very sweet guy still.
That's good.
Until one day, he's waiting for a train to go to work, and he misses it.
And he misses the train.
A missed train is all it takes to send him down a path of just...
I mean, honestly, you have all these things build up in you. You know how like the smallest thing
it
can trip you up. Yeah. I was telling you guys this morning that I came in here and one thing happened and then everything after that was just...
It just kind of piles on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is his...
And my parents weren't even killed by a Christmas tree.
No, on Christmas Day.
Right.
I mean, I guess it'd be different if somebody's parents were killed by a Christmas tree on a different holiday, but the fact that it was Christmas Day, probably.
Yeah, if you're killed by a Christmas tree on Easter, there's a couple of problems there.
At that point, like, we feel bad, but at the same time, you probably should have put your Christmas tree
Right,
up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So...
Now, Hanukkah bush, that's a whole different...
He missed his train, and that's what causes it. He decides, since he knows how to cobble, that he's going to fix the train's brakes. He's like, that's the reason.
Oh, so they didn't stop because the brakes were bad.
They didn't stop because something's got to be wrong with the train.
It wasn't because Eggman's standing there.
No, and they're like, I don't want Humphrey
little
on my
rain
train.
cloud over his head.
Something bad might happen. I've heard about what happens to him. Yeah. So he decides to fix the brakes, which instead leads to a massive crash.
Oh, no.
No deaths.
Wait, so... He checked out some books from the library.
Yep.
Learned how to fix brakes.
Yep.
And then they left him alone with the train long enough for him to fix the brakes.
No, this is the thing. He decides that he's going to, in the secrecy of night, go out and fix. Like, hey, nobody asked me to. I'm just going to go fix these things because obviously there's something wrong with them.
Because trains don't run at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in Gotham, they don't.
Sure, in Gotham.
No, in Gotham, 6 o'clock, it's done for the night.
Yeah, sure.
Even though in Batman Begins, there's that huge train fight.
That's what I'm thinking.
That was the one day that the trains ran late, and so they
Right.
just stopped it.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
Yeah, so he fixes it in the secrecy of night, but yeah, it leads to a massive crash. Nobody dies, but there's a lot of handicapped people. And
So
I
he
say that
creates
not to laugh.
He creates a bunch of handicapped people?
I say that not. I'm not laughing,
Oh,
obviously,
no.
at the incident, but yeah.
Hey, Zach, you can laugh at it because it's all made up.
I know.
It's okay.
It's just ridiculous to me that they included that. Nobody died, but he did multiple people were left handicapped. It's kind of like the writers are like, we want you to be like, oh, what he did was wrong.
Yeah, sure.
But we don't know how to do that. What's a little bit worse than death? We'll just have where they can't walk again.
We don't want him to be a bloodthirsty killer. Just a misinformed handicapper.
An elevator skips the floor that he's waiting on. So he sneaks into night to fix the elevator. Elevator crashes. It doesn't say it. I can only assume there's more handicapped people.
Lots of accordion-looking handicapped people.
Then basically he goes and he tried. These are all happening over a span of a couple days, right?
Sure. Over a couple of days.
Yes.
Yeah.
This isn't just one day.
Sure, right.
Like the media is trying to figure out what's happening. They have no clues. He goes to use the ATM and it eats his card. So he goes at night to fix it. And what does it do? The next day, it just starts spraying money everywhere.
Oh, well, that's not a bad. At least,
not.
I'm saying at least nobody got handicapped
It's
unless they got
not.
hit in the eye with an errant dollar bill.
But the ATM is able to get a picture of Humphrey.
Okay.
And the media is the one who coins him Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad.
Which I don't think he's a fan of the nickname.
Poor guy.
He realizes now that he's in the
Can't
papers.
be the first time he was called that, though.
No,
right?
no.
Okay.
Look at him as a child.
That's what I'm saying.
There's
he looks like an egg.
Yes, he
So,
looks
yeah.
like Humpty Dumpty from the beginning.
Yeah.
So he goes back home. His grandmother tells him that he needs to go down and get some of the cash it's spraying out, all of that. He's done with this. He's thinking to himself,
I didn't get you any cash, Grandma, but you need to go down there and grab some while it's spraying into the air.
Well, no, the grandma wants him to go down there.
Oh,
and
the
get it.
grandma wants him
She's
to go.
like, it's spitting cash, and you
idiot, hit him with the stick.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure, I see that.
Humphrey's tired of all this. He's like, nothing's turned out. I'm just going to leave Gotham.
Yeah.
So what he does is he has a boat that he's going to leave Gotham on. He goes to sleep and he realizes that he wakes up late because the giant clock tower is an hour off.
All of this is so it's everything's so simple.
It is.
So I went to sleep and the big clock tower was off. Okay.
That's the thing,
so
though.
I couldn't leave on a boat.
People in Gotham apparently do not care that the giant clock tower in the middle of town is off.
It's 20 minutes off.
They've just, not even 20, a whole hour off.
Oh, it's an hour off.
And
wow.
they've just accepted it.
Well, they never fixed it after daylight savings.
Oh, that's true.
That's what happened. It's like,
once we're out of daylight savings, it'll be Friday.
Hey, give it 6 months. It'll be fine.
So he decides the one last thing he's going to fix is that giant clock.
Yeah, this seems like a good idea.
Oh, well, by fixing the clock hands, though, one of them snaps off and flies off the clock and causes a domino effect.
And handicaps everyone.
And it basically just demolishes the Gotham skyline.
Oh, no.
Like I read in looking at this, like it's continued continuity based off this, that there's somewhat, it's not directly related to Humphrey Dumpler, but when they wrote after this, that Gotham skylines couldn't be so tall.
Oh, really?
And they made it as like a rule from him destroying stuff with the clock.
Trains can't go as fast.
Yeah. They're just like, he ruined everything. We can't build the skyline as high.
Yeah.
So
grandmothers can't possess giant sticks.
Yep, that's his biggest thing though, is that it just ruins the Gotham skyline. So now it's Batgirl though. He's a Batman villain.
Oh.
But Batgirl's the one who works on apprehending him.
Yeah.
She basically is able to hunt him down.
Why wouldn't it Bat Lady?
There's a Batwoman.
There is a Batwoman that's different from Batgirl?
Yeah.
Oh.
Batgirl was Barbara
Bat Lady.
Gordon, and then Barbara Gordon became Oracle. Batwoman is, it's something Kane. It's alliterative. It's like not Kimberly Kane, Catherine Kane. It's something like that.
Right.
But Kane's her last name.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, no, there's a Batwoman.
But no Bat Lady.
I don't know.
Like a little more formal. You know, she's got a bat like ball gown.
She doesn't.
wears.
I was
She's
gonna
Bat
say.
Lady.
I was gonna say she doesn't wear a cape and a cowl. She has like a power suit.
Yeah, that's it.
And just the bat ear mask.
That's right.
And then just like, and I'm talking like shoulder pads and everything.
Yeah, sure. Working girl.
Yes,
type.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
Bat Lady.
Batgirl is able to basically hunt down Humphrey due to his outstanding library charges.
And the fact that he looks like an egg.
Well, that too.
Sure.
But she notices like,
Hey, there's that egg guy.
yeah, so she hunts him down. She finds him
Due to his outstanding library charges.
due to his outstanding library charges.
What the hell?
Hey, they're not the world's greatest detectives for nothing. I'm telling you, the Bat family's always on
That
it.
is ridiculous.
So Batgirl hunts him down and says, you know, hey, I knew it was you because of the elevators, the train. Like you checked out the exact book you needed to change whatever it was. And so she asks him, she goes, so it makes sense everything you checked out, but I noticed that you checked out Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, no.
Why did you do that?
Oh, shucks,
Yes.
Zach.
Yes.
He's going to fix his grandma.
He is. He takes her home and he says, and basically
no.
he shows her that he killed her and took her apart before sewing her back together. And I put the quote in here
no.
because it's just, quote, she was just so awful. Something inside her had to be broken. So I took her apart and put her together again.
Oh, my God. Wow. That took a turn real quick,
It did.
didn't it? Yeah.
And that is part of the reason to me that this is a character
Yikes.
that can be interesting just because obviously he's not all right.
No.
Even though he's so childlike and he's just trying to fix things.
Yikes.
His fixing things
Yeah,
can
dude,
go
that
a
is-
little too
That's
far.
a whole different level. Like, I'm going to fix a clock. I'm going to fix a train. I'm going to kill my grandmother. I mean, geez.
But he didn't look at it as that. He looked at it as
he's
trying
fixing
to
her.
fix
Sure,
her.
sure. But he also has like short-term memory loss or something because none of the other stuff is worked out real well.
No, not at all.
This is going to be the one, though, when I take her apart.
Yep. That's obviously what gets him locked up into Arkham.
Sure.
Funny enough, it wasn't. I mean, I guess it was just a collection of everything, but the grandma killing and sewing back together was probably pretty big.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think those are probably the bigger charges.
We
Sure.
find out though that Jeremiah Arkham considers him to be a model prisoner there in Arkham.
Yeah.
He follows all the rules, and he even gives Humphrey like other inmates things to fix. You remember the ventriloquist? He has that little like Scarface dummy.
Yeah, that one sticks out.
Yeah, he has him fix that dummy. The Mad Hatter has things that he
gotta
has him
fix his
fix on.
hats.
So basically, Humphrey just stays in Arkham fixing stuff.
Huh. So he's probably actually kind of happy, I would imagine.
He gets to do that. But
Yeah.
that's basically the story of Humphrey. There is another arc that he's a major part of that I include just to explain another side of him.
Uh-huh.
And that one is basically he's caught dressing up as Santa Claus during Christmas time,
Sure.
which y'all already have to worry. Dressed as Santa, parents killed by a Christmas tree. You never know where
But
this is
wait,
going.
so he's in jail.
No, he gets out.
Oh, he gets
eventually at one
out.
point in
Okay,
time.
okay.
This is a later. I'm sorry.
I was wondering how they were giving him the Santa suit.
Yeah,
in the
Batman
jail.
Leviathan was a couple years later in this role of what he's in, and so he's masquerading as Santa,
Okay.
and he is part of a plan, and he gets a lot of stolen and broken children's toys to help give to the Rainbow House shelter.
So he's wanting to give.
He's wanting to give.
Yeah, he's wanting to do something good, but he has to steal it to do it.
He has a big heart. It's just
Sure.
a little.
It's a big heart that he
little
got
off
from his grandma.
because there's a part in there where that whole story has to deal with a guy who's just called Abuse.
He's just called Abuse.
Like that's
Okay.
a name he goes by. Basically though, like
But there was never any mention of like abuse as a child or anything,
no, not
right?
for him.
Okay.
Not for Humphrey. No.
Gotcha.
Apparently, according to everything, and you saw it's very short though, that his mother and father were fantastic. It's his
Right.
grandmother that.
Right.
So
Was that his mother's side or his father's side? Do you know?
I don't know. It doesn't specify that.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably the mother's side.
Well, here's the only thing I'm thinking.
Father's
Okay,
side?
right? The abuse thing. If he only had the one grandmother,
Yeah.
then that meant that his parents were related, and maybe that caused a problem.
Oh. You know, I never.
That's
thought
what I'm
about
going to
that.
go with. Yeah,
Because you would think that maybe he could have had another grandmother,
I think that's why he looked
But-
that way too.
but maybe she didn't have enough in her cupboards. Maybe his
Sure.
other one, his
She
other
didn't live
grandmother.
she didn't live in a big ass shoe.
She didn't, but maybe that was old Mother Hubbard.
lived
So
in a-
she didn't have food.
She lived in a little slide.
Yeah, it was either no food or living in a shoe. But basically the main part of this that involves Humpty, he knocks Abuse approaches him about, all these, about missing kids.
Oh.
And he basically gets freaked out, thinks that he's going to be found out. So he knocks the guy unconscious and flees to the kid shelter.
But there's nothing saying that he did anything to kids.
No.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
hold on.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Every time I start to feel good for this guy.
No, this one's not as bad, but it's still.
Yeah.
So basically, Robin and Batman find him at the Rainbow House shelter there for the
They're
kids.
just hanging out there.
Yeah, they hunt him down. I guess
Looking
they're
for new wards.
Somebody has a bag dressed as Santa. We're gonna go hunt him down. Well, yeah, that would be Batman. Just finding all of his, except besides his son later on.
Yeah.
All of them are just troubled teens that have the same story.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something there.
Yeah. Like it's something with Bruce though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
that's another show.
Well, that's true. Robin, while they're talking and interrogating Humphrey, notices that the lights are on in the shelter.
Yeah.
None of the kids have awoken.
Right.
So he goes over to a hospital bed, starts pulling off covers, and realizes all the kids in there are dead.
Oh, no. All the kids in the shelter are dead?
All the kids in the shelter are dead.
Oh, no. What happened to all the kids in the shelter?
Well, basically, Robin is pissed, rightfully so,
Yeah.
and is about to start attacking Humphrey when Humphrey explains to him he found all these kids and he brought them to the shelter and he was trying to give them one last holiday.
Oh, no. Humphrey, you can't transport dead children to a shelter. Wait a minute. So that can't be right.
He didn't kill him.
But what I'm saying is the shelter was empty?
So yeah, no, Victor Zsasz, who we will get into, who is an awesome character, is absolutely crazy if you don't know about Victor Zsasz.
I don't.
But did you ever watch Gotham?
Yes. Yes.
Funny enough,
I gave up about the same time everyone else did.
Okay.
But yes.
He was in there for a little bit. Actually, another thing. Did you ever watch Barry on HBO with Bill Hader?
Yeah.
You know,
Great show.
NoHo Hank?
Yeah.
Love NoHo Hank.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
plays
yeah.
Victor Zsasz in Gotham. So it's a completely different character for him. I love that show. If you haven't had a
it's a
chance,
great
Barry
show.
on HBO, it's
Yeah.
great. But Victor Zsasz is responsible for it. I included this, even though it was kind of dark, to show that even though Humphrey to himself thinks that he's trying to do good things,
Yeah.
it's just misplaced and it's kind of creepy.
Well, yeah. He's transporting dead kids.
Yeah, no, he
That's
just
nuts,
he
man.
picked him up, just carried him to the hospital.
Where'd he find them?
Just off in the riverbank. I mean,
You know, the old dead kids riverbank.
he said, Humpty says he is innocent and explains that he found them near the river as they
Oh, man.
I don't even
Come on. They just all washed up.
floated up to him.
No.
So
That's not great.
it's not. It's terrible.
Found them near the river as they floated up to him. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, but
Zack Snyder, are you listening?
I included
Make this movie.
I included this just to show that Humpty is such a weird, I don't want to say tortured soul, but he's a guy who just wanted to fix things, took it a little too far, and still, even though he's considered dangerous to society,
Yeah.
he's off, but there's still something in him. He's a very gray character in my mind.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Sure.
But I brought up the Arkham video games. I'll just include this a really bit. He's not like referenced or featured prominently,
Yeah.
but there is an Easter egg in the Arkham Asylum video game where you can find on a park bench a pile of oddly put together toy soldiers, which it say are his.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's in the video game. I teased a Breaking Bad connection. And this is where I'll get into what I think the character could be really good. In an episode of the animated series Beware of the Batman, which is one of the computer-generated ones they've kind of made recently,
Yeah. Okay.
he is voiced by Matt Jones. You know who Matt Jones
Badger.
is?
Yeah. Badger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Badger is the voice of Humpty Dumpty, a.k.a. Humphrey Dumpler.
Wow. Well, he's got a good voice for that because it's kind of gruff and
and
kind
it's
of
a
gravelly.
little-
Plus, he's childish.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. But they
Or
don't make him.
childlike, not
They
childish.
don't make him in the. I watched a little bit of it just so I could see,
Right.
and they don't make him as, I guess childlike in a way. He's more devious. He has plans of fixing things.
Oh, really?
But yeah,
So he's more of a mean spirited.
yes. I mean, as
Egg.
mean spirited
In
as
this
you
one.
can be for
He's a bad.
bad egg. Yes. I think, though, the reason I included Humphrey Dumpler, aka Humpty Dumpty, is because I think that this could be a really cool character to use. I think that you have a guy who has been through just nothing but shit luck all his life.
Yeah.
And then he tries to fix things, and it just causes him to go worse. And in the process of him fixing things, though, and thinking he's doing right, he's doing something terribly heinous.
He's almost like a likable version of Danny DeVito's Penguin. You know?
Yes.
You know? Because like Danny DeVito's Penguin was really kind of a turd. But
yes.
But this guy's not really a turd. He's trying to do good things, but it just never works out.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But I think that that's an interesting concept to dive into, is you have a guy who's not necessarily evil.
Right.
But the things he does that he thinks he's helping with are causing so much
and
problems.
he's just a little off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Well, I mean,
feel bad for him.
Again,
you made
though,
me depressed.
Oh, did I?
Now I'm depressed about egg-shaped people.
Well, how many egg-shaped people do you know?
More than you would think.
Am I one of them?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did not say that.
Well, I know, but you kind of still. Just making sure.
No.
I still love, even though it's wrong.
Egg-shaped man, you.
I love that the house. You can totally tell it says condemned.
Yeah, this is it. These are crazy panels. Because like the fact that the ice cream guy ran over his dog, it's just literally a puddle of blood and a leash. That's all it is. But he Humphrey still has his ice cream in his hand.
Yeah, well, he's not going to waste that.
Oh my goodness!
Even though, what is that? Is that like orange sherbet?
Yeah, it's either that or a chicken leg.
Who gets orange sherbet in a cone?
I don't know.
Maybe
Humphrey Dumpler
he's
does.
He's villainous for that.
Yeah. God, and so I love the way these panels are written, though, because it's like, but bows will break and wheels go round, and people slip and break their crowns. Through child services knew what to do. They left me with grandma who lived in a shoe. She taught me to cobble amazingly quick by lessons applied with a large knotted stick. I want to know where he gets this giant blousy shirt down at the bottom there. You see that? His shirt is so big.
I think it's just a sheet that they just cut a hole in and he wears it.
But he's got a bow tie on.
Oh, that is true.
And there's a place for buttons.
But that is super puffy
This
arms.
is a giant puffy shirt. Oh, well. His grandmother is terrible looking. She is an awful looking person.
Yeah.
She has ears the size of platters. She's wearing like I don't even know what kind of cap that is.
I don't know. She has a shawl that basically hangs all the way down her back. Tiny bespectacled woman.
I will say this, though. Her boobs are way too far up. They should be way down.
You don't know what his grandma did. Maybe she was still working out.
She didn't. Maybe so. She was blessed from
she was
blessed from the collarbone down.
She was beating Humphrey with that stick. Like, that was a workout.
Well, that's true. It's true. Maybe her core is really strong.
Yeah. Well,
core.
Again, that stick is at least 2, if not 3 times bigger than her.
Her head is as big as her torso, though. It's gigantic.
That she has like neck to waist is smaller than her head.
Yeah.
She is
gigantic.
She's
scary looking.
She is.
Well, Humphrey, God bless you. I hope you're out there somewhere. I hope your luck's gotten better. But, you know, if you see stuff that's broke, maybe ask somebody else to fix it.
Yeah, and also pay your library dues.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to get caught for. But kids, if you're listening, you know, the library takes it very seriously.
Superheroes will hunt you down based on your overdue books.
Sure, unless you just want to see Batgirl. You know, maybe keep some books out for a while.
Yeah, maybe
she shows
just
up.
But make sure like it's just like evil enough so she thinks that you might be into something.
Right. Check out the Anarchist Cookbook.
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
I don't think they have those.
Oh, they don't have it at the library?
I don't think you can go to your public library.
Pardon me, man. Could I get a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook?
And they're like, 1 second. And then, oh, okay.
I'm looking into making some my own acid. Yeah. Oh, man. This guy's sad. It really is. It is. It's too bad. You feel bad for him, but then you're also like, why you keep screwing up?
Yeah, and let's not forget, he's also a cold-blooded killer.
That's true. That's true. And I'm still not convinced he didn't kill all his kids.
I mean, I didn't
hugged them to death or something, you know?
He does seem like a guy who could hug.
Yeah, it's like the end of Mice or Men.
I almost said Lenny kind of thing.
Yeah, it really is. I'm going to pet him and squeeze him and make him my own.
But that was Humphrey Dumpler.
And kill him and put him in a bed.
And then sew him back together because something must have been wrong with him.
And then give him a great Christmas. Wow, what a weird dude.
It was very weird, but that's
cool, though. I enjoyed
Dumpty, it. Humphrey Dumpler. There you go.
Humphrey Dumpler. Right now, we have Bros, Foes, and Heroes on Instagram.
I think it's just Bros, Foes, Heroes.
Bros, Foes, Heroes. on Instagram. Follow us there. Eventually, we'll put some stuff up. Check us out on roguemedianetwork.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will be sitting outside your local Sonic for an hour this coming Thursday.
And it all depends on what your local Sonic is.
Sure. I mean, we're gonna hit up a lot of them, but for 1 hour, we'll be near your local Sonic
next week. We don't know when. Just swing by your Sonics just to see.
Sure. Yeah. Try the new Berry Blast. All right. I guess that's it.
So this is
We'll see you.
Bros, Foes, and Heroes. We'll catch you next time.
Testacuzzi.
Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Galikan!